how do I find these stocks? How have I done this over the last 15 years? How did I know to buy, I bought NVDA back in 2009 and kept adding to it. And that became my first 100 bagger, which was amazing last year. And buying companies like Lululemon earlier, buying companies like Amazon 10 years ago when it already seemed huge, and it's been a 10 bagger since then. How do I find those? How do I hold on to them? And quantify it. So we came up with a fun little acronym to quantify that strategy. I call it my BLAST investment strategy. So, we can just go straight down the letters. First, B, big impact. I want companies that are working to make a significant positive difference in the world. They need to be able to fundamentally change the way we do things for the better. And that's sort of a baseline for the businesses that I want. I want businesses that are trying to change what we do for the better. But I also want a large market. So usually these are, all the companies in my portfolio that I start with. Sometimes companies like Amazon can be great investments, right? Those mega cap tech names, large caps, etc. But the companies that I'm focusing on, bottom line investing, are companies that I can't necessarily write about publicly at the Motley Fool because it causes weird swings. And we have to be careful of those things. So they might be very, either micro caps or small caps or even mid caps. I'll get up into that range. There's a couple of them in there. But I want companies that are chasing large total addressable markets. And this should be in billions, not millions, and early in their growth stories. So big impact, large market. And I also want adaptable management. I've written at length about the importance of early companies and large companies alike, their ability to pivot their operations to cater to market conditions as needed. And I want companies that need to have, not only relevant skills, experience, and flexibility to adjust to those changing industry dynamics, but management teams that aren't too in love with their company as it stands. And I've seen too many businesses fail because they were unwilling to pivot away from something that just sort of was working. And so I want an adaptable management team that shows a willingness when the need arises to actually adapt their business to those dynamics. So BLA, I want sustainable growth as well. So the S in BLAST is sustainable growth. I want a realistic plan to achieve profitability without compromising their vision and values. So I want sustainable, profitable, preferably growth. Doesn't have to be profitable in the early stages, and especially in the startups world, we know firsthand you don't necessarily achieve profitability straight away. And in this world, though, as interest rates and interest rates have risen, capital's become more expensive. It's much more difficult for yet to be profitable growth stocks in particular to raise capital when needed, and they need to be able to be generating sustainable operations, positive cash flows, or a path to it, positive bottom line, or a path to it. So we've covered that. Big impact, a large market, adaptable management, sustainable growth, and finally, T, transparent operations. So I want businesses that are transparent and do right by every stakeholder involved. And a lot of that, I think there's obviously a level of subjectivity to that. So you can say, okay, right now, for example, there's I do some of the businesses, it's all long term, but some of the businesses they might be under an embargo. They can't talk about anything, right? I can't get a peep out of iRobot's management right now, for example, because I'm sure they can't speak about anything regarding the Amazon merger. And I had a fantastic interview at Seven Investing with iRobot's CEO, Chairman and CEO Colin Angle before. And he's wonderful to talk to, but I have to respect that sometimes they can't. But at the same time, when possible, if at all possible, I want to make sure that these businesses have, all of their regulatory filings, press releases, they're straightforward in interviews. They're not over-promising. That's another thing that I think that can be difficult, is that you have to keep in mind that management teams are, when you're speaking with them as an investor, they're selling you their business. They're selling you on their business, and they want, And it's a rare thing to have them be truly transparent, almost as though they're speaking like they're writing an SEC filing where they have to tell the truth. Or if they don't, there's charges involved. So anyway, that's just a broad overarching view of the approach that I'm taking to find stocks early in their growth stories with that BLAST methodology.